Hello.
Are we live?
Are we?
Do you feel live?
Are we?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Are we live?
Okay, yeah. It seems we are.
It seems we are. If you can actually hear us and see us, please say something.
Yeah.
Let's just give a few more minutes for people to join. We have an enormous 8 people so far. But yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to YouTube Live.
Yes. We are so excited to be here. I am quite nervous.
I'm nervous.
And we have done a lot of times.
There's a lot of. We've got microphones.
Yeah.
We've got. Well, yeah. This is a little bit more of a setup than when we were just.
Yeah, it's not the click and go of Instagram.
Instagram.
Actually,
yeah.
we say hello to our Instagram followers.
I don't know if that's working either.
I don't know.
But yeah.
So, welcome to the new online tastings. Welcome to Madrid and Roca.
Welcome to our shop.
Yeah, we have restarted these online tastings.
Yes.
Because actually we were so happy for the experience we had during the lockdown with our 36 online tastings.
So many tastings.
Yeah, and we actually the experience was so great that we decided we had to be back. And now that
we decided. People asked us to come back.
Oh, yes.
So for those of you who don't know, Roca and I run the best wine shop in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's say Madrid.
Let's say Madrid.
Okay.
And yeah, we did all these wine tastings, and so I don't know if anyone's watched the news, but there's this little thing going on right now called coronavirus. So we did these tastings during the lockdown, and we thought when we finish, that'll be it.
Yeah.
But people are very sweet. People are like, "Oh, we miss you guys. Oh, life isn't worth living without you."
Voices sound amazing.
Roca and so many pixels.
Oh, and
you haven't seen, yeah.
We are now in glorious widescreen. It was needed because of Luke.
Yeah, I still have trouble getting in the frame.
And yeah, we were struggling with the square screen of Instagram.
Yeah, it was too.
We were too close. We couldn't social distance. Luke.
Now we are. You can't see this. We are 2 meters away.
Yeah.
Now I think we should probably give. We don't know who's watching, but maybe we should do an introduction to anybody watching who has just clicked on and is wondering what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a little
introduction of ourselves.
Of our friendship.
Okay, my name is Roca Madrid.
And I'm Luke Darracott.
And we are the happy owners of Madrid and Roca, the best wine shop in Madrid.
So a quick bite-sized story about how we know each other.
Go ahead.
You're laughing about. So I did Spanish and Russian at university, came here for a year, went to Moscow for a year. Unsurprisingly, I fell in love with Madrid, and I met him about 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
We don't really remember why.
Yeah, I was you had a study also filmmaking or
I
like
was making
like
stupid videos,
and I was and I am still doing my TV projects and my film projects.
Better videos.
So we said that we could do something
maybe one
together.
day we could do something.
And that thing came in the form of a food and travel show around Italy called Finding Little Italy, that you can
available in 12 countries.
Yes, including Amazon Prime Video.
But we don't know in which country.
I don't know. Probably in India.
Yeah, there was
Uganda.
There was a poster of me in the Mumbai airport.
Prime Now Uganda.
Yeah, for all of our Ugandan fans out there.
And then we did the show actually, and actually during the show we discovered how much we love wine. You had studied. You had some. Background.
Yeah, so I'm a qualified alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're just a drunk who knows things.
Dramatically
qualified. And I did a few years of food and wine tours and stuff, and really got into wine because, as you know, there's a lot of wine here, and we'll be trying a lot of wines over hopefully the next few months and stuff. But it was essentially this shared love of alcohol that I think finally led us in 2018 to legitimize our drinking problem.
Yeah.
and open a wine shop.
Under the excuse of a shop, wine shop.
Just like,
And
I'm
here we
working.
are.
Now, before we carry on, just a quick question for those of you who are, because Harry, bless him, is like, shameful question, how do I open this bottle of bubbly? New/old bottle. So yeah, this is new/old. We'll talk about the wine in a minute, but what you want to do is, if you can get like a knife or something behind it, and you kind of lever off the sides, and it will just come off, and then you can open it like a normal sparkling wine. So, how to begin Roca Madrid with our first, how are we going to toast this first series
Well, we have
of wines?
we have actually chosen for this first online wine tasting new generation 2.0.
Oh yes.
One of my favorite wines in the shop, one of the best sparkling wines we have in the shop.
Very well reviewed sparkling
Very
wines.
well reviewed. It's Camí del Xops. It's a project of Anima Mundi from Roca. And
Photo of it,
yeah, we have a picture of it.
Look at that! It's modern.
Oh my god!
Yeah, everyone is very impressed. All of the.
This is the wine we are drinking.
I'm just gonna quickly take this
You don't
lid
want to
off.
miss this moment.
I'm gonna make sure I don't destroy the most expensive bottle of wine. So remember, always twist the base, and you want to have a very quiet. Look at that.
That's correct. The fart of a nun.
Fart of a nun, said my wine teacher once. I don't know how many nuns she's met. But
So, yeah, remember, that's the correct opening of a bottle of champagne or cava or bubbles.
it's not a fun way, but it's the right way.
Yeah, why is the right way?
So basically,
Actually, I don't get it.
the only time you have it splurging out, like, well, whatever you want to imagine, the only time you have that happening is if you've just won the Grand Prix and you're trying to celebrate. Because otherwise, you're kind of really agitating your wine quite a lot, and it's going to kind of, well, on one hand, you're going to lose a lot of wine immediately, but also you don't want to agitate the wine. It's a delicate organic product, and you're going to lose the bubbles.
Yeah.
So,
For this new online tasting.
cheers.
Cheers.
So to those of you
Cheers,
who actually
everybody.
have this wine in your hand,
Yeah.
cheers.
So,
That's lovely.
we have chosen. Oh my God, it's lovely. We have chosen this sparkling. This is sparkling wine because it's very special. And why it's so special? Because the way it has been made. This is what we call an ancestral method.
But wait, Roque, I thought all sparkling wine was called champagne.
No.
Oh, that's what we call. I'm trying acting nowadays. I'm going to try acting.
Yeah. Well, no. I will not act.
Okay.
This is an ancestral method.
So is it a cava?
It's not a cava.
So what the hell is going on?
Actually, ancestral method is forbidden in cava.
I'm leaving. I hate this.
Yeah. So it's the way it has been made. Probably the best or the easiest way is to explain how the 99% of cavas. In
Yeah,
Spain
because in Spain we drink lots of cava. So
now, what is the traditional method? Okay, the sparkling wine is what we call the traditional method is what we call the second fermentation wine. It has 2 fermentations. What does that mean? First of all, we need the. I have here.
you got a funny little picture. Haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Actually,
Is it going to work?
told. Yeah. Oh my God! Full screen. Here, full screen. Okay.
No.
Okay.
That'll
Let's
do.
see. Okay.
That'll do.
Here it is.
There you
Okay.
go,
Now
look at
it's
that.
super clear. Oh my God! It's so clear. So first
So many
we
pixels.
make the wine. Okay. Then when the wine is made, we put it in the famous classic bottle of sparkling wine. Then we add yeast. That's the funny thing here.
The little packet which
Yeast.
says Y on it.
So the yeast is gonna make the second fermentation. We leave the bottle in the cellar, in the winery. Then we are going to place it upside down for, the yeast after its work is gonna die, and we
So
want
sad.
all that sediments to go to the let me
neck,
call it
you
the
could
neck,
say,
the
yeah.
neck of the bottle. Then we will do that dramatically the huelle. So,
Disgorging.
yes.
Hello, Dad. Sorry, my dad's just timed in. Hello, Dad.
The way is gonna be the moment to clean those sediments. We freeze the neck of the bottle, we open it, and then because of the pressure, that is gonna come out.
There's a wonderful expression which I not learned, but someone said, "Oh, it's like a yeasticle, like an icicle made of yeast. A yeasticle flies out." It's quite cute.
Then, if you want a semi-sweet, or if you want to add some extra alcohol or sugar, this is the moment. That's the needle here.
Little pipette.
And then you have the bottle ready. That's the traditional method. So every bottle is cooked one by one. I love that. I love the idea when you're buying a bottle of champagne or cava that bottle is unique. That wine is unique.
And if you've spent a lot of money on like a Dom Perignon, probably some old man has been turning the bottles.
Yeah, and there is a code of turnings. For each winery has like
No, little
2
thing.
quarters to the left, 3 quarters to the right. So
It's probably like,
it's a little bit overrated, all these parts.
well, you know how the Spanish, you argue about tortilla de patata, like with onion or without. Maybe in France it's like, you must do 3 turns every hour. Like, you must do 2 turns. Now,
Well, that's the traditional method.
I want to talk about the ancestral method then. Because those of you who have your bottle in front of you, you'll see it says, as we saw, M ancestral, the método ancestral, which originally would be French. So it would have an E on the end, ancestral. Now, what's the most famous place for sparkling wine in France?
Of course, Limoux.
How did you know? So this is the thing, when we... You're such an idiot. When we think of sparkling wines, we think of champagne, Mr. Dom Perignon, all these things, which is great, and they are the big boys. But really, we think the very first sparkling wine to be designed as a sparkling wine goes back to Limoux, which is down in the south, sort of the western part of the sort of Pays d'Oc, southern coast of Spain, where it kind of sticks to the Pyrenees. And there was a little town, this is very French, a little town with a little abbey. And in 1531, it's very specific, the monks there basically created their own method. So, as Roque said, you have that second fermentation in the bottle for champagne and cava and stuff. What you have here is one fermentation. I've got a little graphic. Oh, look at this. Rocky's got a graphic. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off in the same way you start off with your cava, your champagne. So you're going to make yourself a white wine. In this case, there's 2 grapes here, which we'll talk about later, Macabeo and Xarel·lo. But you put in, whatever white wine you're making. So whatever the grapes were way back when of Limoux would be the grapes they would use. Then you start fermenting. In this case, this wine you're fermenting in big oak barrels. You can ferment in stainless steel, but you don't finish the fermentation. So what you'll traditionally do is you'll lower the temperature, maybe when it's half fermented. This particular wine has a slightly different process, which we'll talk about. It's very slightly different. But traditionally, you would just stop the fermentation, and then you transfer that wine, which is a little bit bubbly, but still got a lot of sugar and yeast in there, into a bottle. Now, traditionally, this part happened during the cold Limoux winters. Yeah. So that was kind of automatically cooled, but nowadays you can just cool it. And then, same as before, you're turning them round, you're turning them upside down, you're getting all that rubbish in the bottom. And you will probably, commercially nowadays, do a little, what was the Spanish? Degüello?
Degüello.
A little, you will probably take the top off quickly to remove all that crap, but very traditional stuff. We can talk about the pet nats and things in a bit, but very traditional ancestral. You don't even take it off. You just have all the crap floating in your yummy. But what you end up traditionally with a very traditional Limoux or all these different names would be low alcohol and probably a little bit sweet. Now this one, the only difference is he's almost finished the fermentation and then he's taken it to the bottles. But what happens is the fermentation continues because there's still sugar and yeast in that first bottle. So it's one fermentation. That's the main difference.
Okay.
And see.
So, I mean,
This smells really good.
yes. Now let's focus on this wine, Camí del Xops. Oh, this is a blend of two grapes,
Yeah.
two classic grapes, Xarel·lo,
I love that. It's my favourite name. Xarel·lo.
and the other one,
Macabeo.
Macabeo. The two main grapes. Well, there are main three grapes in Cava. This is made with just two of them.
They're probably the most well known of the three.
Yeah, exactly. For those who have bought the boxes, the online tasting boxes, what are the online tasting boxes?
True, we haven't actually really talked to you about them. So, the idea is you buy a box of wine, and inside you're going to have 6 bottles of wine. And every month we're trying to give you a nice variety. Though many of you, or some of you, all of you, who knows, none of you, were there during our Instagram tastings. What we're doing this time is taking our time a bit more, slowing down, and choosing slightly more special wines.
Yeah.
But again, if you buy the box, you might get some goodies. You might get some things. So sometimes wineries, you might have a little black bag in your box.
Yeah.
Sometimes wineries give us things. And in this case, we've decided to add a little tasting sheet.
Actually, we are working hard with wineries and distributors to bring you the best wine. It's going to be a special price because actually if you try to buy this wine separately, it will cost you more.
So with this box, you save like €10.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Also, in the box, you will see this homework.
Yes. This is not about having fun.
And this is a classic technical wine tasting sheet.
So so when you do the wine qualifications, this is how you taste wines. And on one hand, maybe it's not as romantic, but it actually can be quite useful to actually get you thinking more. I sound like a teacher at school. Yeah. It helps you to think more critically about the wine. But it does help you actually think, what am I actually smelling? What am I tasting? Is it a strong aroma? Is it a weak aroma? These kind of things.
We should do this.
We should. Yeah, let's do a practice run, and in the future you'll learn how to do it yourselves.
Okay, let's start with the visual phase.
It's white.
Uh-huh.
What was that sound? So
I never knew the real difference between red and white wine.
Well, this is the day you learn. So you've got 3 things here. You've got the intensity of the colour. You've got the clarity. Yeah. Now, hopefully, all of our wines will be having a good clarity. But the thing is, you get natural wines. You get low intervention wines.
Well, this is a low intervention wine, and for that, it's really clear.
That is because the winemaker, who we'll talk about in a minute, is an absolute legend, and he's very good at doing his wines. But
he's very good cleaning wines.
They always say about Agustí Torellò, that man can clean wines. Well, you found the style of our tastings. Intensity of colour. Now, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean? Now, this one, really, it's a fancy way of saying what colour is it. This is an intense. This is what we call this yellow gold or some pale gold. These kind of things. But is it a strong colour? As
you can see in the sheet, there are stars. That doesn't mean if you feel. I mean, this if it's the intensity is high, probably you will feel the 5 stars. But that doesn't mean it's better.
No, this is the thing.
It means it's more intense.
So color. Maybe you hate Gewürztraminer.
No, I love Gewürztraminer.
Just imagine.
Are you trying to insult me?
Yes, I am. No, imagine, if you will, a world where somebody...
every time you have sparkling wine, you insult me.
That's because...
And I don't like it. I don't like it, and especially in this shop.
It's because it gives me bubble gut. I can't drink as much. Okay. So imagine you have a Gewürztraminer or an old Rioja. Maybe you don't like the style, but you do not go, it smells of nothing. It goes like it punches you in the face. If you have a little light Pinot Grigio or a young Chardonnay, maybe you love it, but it's not an intensity. So yeah, this is more of a quality thing. Noteworthy elements.
Yeah, well, if you want to,
fine bubbles.
Fine bubbles, yeah. In ancestral method wines, you will get finer bubbles. The reason is that, I mean, we don't have such a strong bubble maker as the yeast.
Is that a wine term?
Well, yes, the bubble maker,
the bubble maker.
Or yeast farts.
Yeast farts.
Okay.
A term coined by a lady from Chicago.
Normally, the yeast who has responsible of these bubbles is the indigenous.
And he uses
yeast.
indigenous ones, which is good.
Of the grapes, and it's supposed it's more delicate.
So that's we mentioned this before in a tasting. They call it native yeasts, and it's spontaneous fermentation.
And for that reason, if you leave, the wine in the glass for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, there will be no bubbles. You lose the bubbles because it's supernatural.
Have you ever left a glass of wine for that long?
No. Even in parties, I drink the people who left. The glasses they left.
Hey, I'm just going to the toilet. Okay, thank you. We call that mind sweeping in English. I don't know if that translates. Anyway, olfactory fades, aroma intensity, aroma quality. This maybe could be if you like it or not.
What about the aroma intensity of this one?
I think it's
Here comes the most pretentious part in the wine tasting, the smelling part.
Oh, I thought you were insulting me now. You're like, here he comes.
He's the pretentious asshole.
What I like about this,
you cannot. I mean, if I were Luke, I would say tennis balls.
Anything else? Any other ball-related aromas?
Ripe violets.
No, you're being up. But I do get tennis balls. No. What I like about this is it doesn't smell. Now, those of you who live here, anyone here who drinks cava or has had a lot of cava will know there's that very standout aroma of cava, which you go, it smells of cava. Now, I'm not a big fan of that much. But this one doesn't smell that much. You have from that Macabeo, you have that florality, which I like. Not wilted violets, whatever, but you have this... It's kind of like honey blossom or honeysuckle or something.
But there's something like citruses here.
Yeah, and also like
lemon. I get something like lemon, could be.
And I also get like candied lemon, something, or like lemon curd.
Lemon cake.
Yeah, my mum, by the way, does an amazing lemon drizzle cake.
Is she online?
Yeah,
Mr. Daraka.
Dad's there. He says, "Hola."
Oh, hello.
I mean, they're not watching. He just clicks, so we get the view, and he leaves.
Okay.
Jolly good. Job's done. Whoop. Back to watching Midsummer Murders. So anyway, but this is the thing. We always joke, and I get a bit more pretentious. But this is, on one hand, one of the more fun parts of the tasting. What can you smell? What can you think? It's also not important. So there's no right or wrong answer. If you smell black currants here and tobacco and cigars, your face is broken. Yeah. But in general, it doesn't matter what you smell. Whatever you smell, you smell. If you like it, that's the key. So
now the tasting phase.
This is a fun one.
May I have more, please?
You may. You were being slow. The tasting phase is actually quite difficult for sparkling wines because of the fizz. The fizz can mask the delicacy of a white wine, which is what it is.
Okay, don't be shy. For those who are watching in a phone or a computer and you can write, please give us your ideas. What do you think about the aromas and the tasting?
And we won't laugh at you if you're wrong.
Yes.
I think it's quite. What I like about this is quite. How would I word? It's an interesting combination of silky. It's quite smooth because of the bubbles, but it has a nice citrus crispiness to it. Some cavas I find can be a bit boring. This is quite. Dare I use the word exciting? Exciting on the palate? Is
this what we call the texture?
Yeah,
the mouthfeel?
Like I say, this is more difficult for a sparkling wine because all sparkling wine is fizzy. But if you have a big red wine and it's big and alcoholic and it covers the palate, you can say, it's full-bodied and it's creamy or something. If you have a chocolat, it's crisp and acidic and bright. It's more difficult to discern the matices, the nuances in a sparkling wine, but you can still do it. Duncan Bowie. Oh, Duncan, he's been here. I know Duncan.
Yeah. Hello, Duncan.
Elements of Lime. Elements of Lime.
Oh,
that's the name of my second album. Elements of Lime. I hate myself. Harry, the crowd here is saying a hint
die alone.
Oh, we know that. We know that. Then it just become Madrid and my name crossed out. Harry, the crowd here is saying a hint of green apple skins. Very nice. Yes. Ben Green, I smell the excess flour on the top of a fresh baked roll. You wonderful, pretentious man. I love it. Ben Green's my guy.
Yeah.
Ben Green knows what's...
It's another...
Go on. Insult our best guy.
It's another PA.
Personal assistant. Anyway. And then you have the finish and the balance. So balance is if...
What is the balance?
So
when you mean this wine is very balanced.
So balance is one of those floofy words.
What are the things are balanced?
What is this? What's her name? Hello, ladies. People can see us in the shops.
It's
lovely.
quite weird.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
So balance. Essentially, if any one part of the wine stands out too much, it's not balanced. So we have some very high alcohol wines here. And I love high alcohol wines because they give you a nice big mouthfeel. But the key is to find a wine which is balanced, which means you don't notice the alcohol too much. In the same way, some wines are too dry and tannic. Because they're dry. They've not balanced it with acidity. So balance is just really a code word for everything sits in its right place. So this one, for me, is very well balanced. I mean, probably all of the wines we've chosen are going to be 5 out of 5 for balance. But it's worth explaining what balance means. But some people might get something else. So some people might go, oh, that smells alcoholic. So for them, it's not perfectly balanced. So it's kind of semi-subjective.
No.
And then the finish is how long the taste sits on your palate for afterwards.
Okay, this is going to be an experiment because actually we are
what do you mean? We're
live editing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the
Rocky's
first time.
Click.
It's the first time, so apologize if we make anything wrong.
Never apologize.
Never apologize. Because we are super great people. We got a message from Mr. Torellò, Agustí Torellò, the winemaker.
I think before you show the message, I think you should tell the story of how we almost never had the wine.
I will tell the story after they watch him. So
I look like an
hopefully
idiot to the story.
You will.
Fingers crossed this works.
Yeah, if you see him upside down, it just looks false.
And it's in Spanish, by the way, because...
Yeah, it's in Spanish, so pay attention.
Hola a todos y a todas, hoy desde el Penedès os presentamos la nueva añada de Camí dels Xops 2019, nuestro espumoso entrada al proyecto Anima Mundi, un proyecto personal, ¿no?, donde nuestra conciencia hacia la naturaleza nos ha llevado pues a emprender este reto, ¿no?, perfeccionando siempre pues esa técnica de la observación y el aprendizaje. De algún modo hemos aprendido a prestar atención a todo aquello que nos rodea, siempre con el fin de preservar el verdadero carácter de la uva, ¿no?, en la expresión más genuina del sitio donde nace, ¿no?, buscar vinos que tengan esa identidad de paisaje, de lugar, de suelos y del clima, ¿no? Intentamos trabajar siempre acorde al mensaje que nos quiere transmitir estos suelos, intentando comprender pues cada uno de los matices que nos regalan, ¿no? Siempre el contacto con la naturaleza te dota de la capacidad de poder escuchar, de poder sentir, conduciendo siempre a una profunda comprensión, ¿no?, de los ciclos vitales donde estamos todos conectados, el mundo animal, el mundo vegetal y el mundo mineral. Siempre con el fin de proteger y narrar pues un paisaje vitícola de origen y entendiendo pues que la calidad del vino siempre será evidente a través de su luz, de su vitalidad y que únicamente podremos elaborar vinos vivos, vinos con una personalidad muy marcada si trabajamos a través de suelos vivos, ¿no? Por eso nuestro trabajo en viticultura es tutorizar, es acompañar, aumentando siempre la actividad microbiológica en el suelo y buscando siempre un equilibrio planta-mineral, ¿no? Camí dels Xops es nuestro espumoso, como os decía, de entrada al proyecto. Es un espumoso de pueblo, son 5 parcelas alrededor del pueblo de Sant Sebastià dels Gorgs, 60% macabeo, 40% es charelo, viñedos de entre 25 y 45 años, plantados siempre en vaso, y una viticultura tradicional mediterránea, ¿no? Vendimiamos de forma conjunta, fermentan en barricas de 500 litros con la levadura indígena de la parcela y termina de forma natural la fermentación en botella. 12 meses mínimo de crianza en rima, en contacto con la levadura, y hacemos un pequeño degüelle. Deseo que os guste, un espumoso sobre todo que tenga esa identidad del paisaje, de la zona y ese Mediterráneo, ¿no?, este punto salino muy mineral que siempre pues da mucha identidad a nuestros vinos. ¡Salud!
I mean...
Well, it worked, right?
That worked.
So that was Agustí Torellò, the winemaker.
Who I've always said I want in the shop. I always said I should sell the wines.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that one day, Luke was having job interview here with a guy who wanted to work.
It was a neighbor who was like, I know you guys aren't looking for anyone, but blah blah blah.
Yeah,
We'll do
a nice guy was here, and he was. And then one of our distributors came with Agustí Torellò.
Okay.
Luckily, I had been in a wine tasting with Agustí Torellò a few weeks before, and I recognized him. Okay. But I saw Luke suddenly saying to this guy, "No, now I cannot talk to you.
Yeah, can you come back later? I'm a bit busy.
Come back another day." I was on panic.
Okay, it is. I have to admit, it is one of the distributors who's a little bit more. Comes a lot basically. Lovely guy. No, he's very nice, but like. I was like, I'm doing an interview here. I can't see you now. I was like, no, can you come back later? Just come back in like an hour. Wrong timing. And then Rocky's like, that's Agustí Torellò. Come in! And I was like,
So sorry, Agustí, for that.
No, it was great.
And actually, he came to show us.
It was amazing.
Another project.
We tried.
Espartero.
Yeah, Espartero, which is amazing Macabeo.
Yeah.
So thankfully, someone's professional.
And Agustí is someone we admire. Is this new generation of winemakers that is gonna, is changing the mood of making wine.
Because Torellò is a well-known name.
It's one of those person that when they make something new, you pay attention to them because it's gonna be good.
He's got amazing eyebrows. so this wine is made in the Penedès area. I think we have some photos of Penedès we can show you. Very beautiful. It's this kind of mythical valley where they make white wines and carvers. Again, as we've said, this is not a carver because officially the ancestral method can't be allowed in carver. I think actually that they might be allowed in Penedès, but he's chosen not to. So if you guys have the bottle, you'll notice on the back it doesn't say anything. It has Agustí Roca, the signature, and you see that slightly low alcohol there, as we said, but it's not a DO wine. But this area is this beautiful fertile valley. It's kind of a Mediterranean vibe.
Yeah, so it's very well exposed. It's a valley open to the sea. So it's it's the influence of the Mediterranean weather is obviously 100%.
I guess it must be a very nice place to live.
Yeah, and
it looks.
You could retire there.
I have to learn Catalan. That's too many languages. I'm already doing Japanese. I can't do Catalan as well.
How is this Japanese going
on? So this.
That's a ridiculous language.
You're a ridiculous language. So you could look at this as like original carver, maybe. This is like what carver could have been if it was as old and ancient as like the Lemieux ones. Pablo, that moment Torellò said, "You're tearing me apart." Thanks, Pablo. So yes, and we have these two grapes, Xarel·lo and Macabeo, which are the two mythical ones. Xarel·lo tends to be the powerhouse of the grapes, gives you a bit more kick, a bit more booze, a bit more structure, and Macabeo dances over the top and gives you more of the fruity florality to it. And they work really well in this wine, I think. And as you know, I'm not a sparkling wine guy, but this is my tempo.
Question time. Please ask anything.
Now, so please ask a question.
Doubts.
Shiny, vibrant, sparkling wine, I would say. Ever, I would agree.
Yeah.
Now, while people write questions, and please do write questions, all 400 of you that are watching this live, we do actually have a question from Ben Green.
No.
Ben
Green is always trying to call our attention.
Just come and work here, Ben. Jesus Christ. So, Ben says, imagine a Roque and Luke dream team was put together and is in charge of the globe. Would you like some more alcohol while it's quite a long question. Ben's got some stuff to say. So, imagine a Roque and Luke dream team was put in charge of the global marketing for Denominación de Origen Cava. How would you go about leaving Prosecco in the dust where it belongs? He wrote that. And convincing the world that Cava is not just a cheap imitation champagne that the British sometimes drink. So what would be your way in pushing this brand? I mean, maybe not this particular wine, but other Agustí wines, Cava wines. How can we say, listen, don't drink champagne, drink Spanish?
But I have my special opinion about Cava. We've been talking about that in our podcast that you can actually listen in Spotify.
The Spanish wine experience.
Spanish wine experience. And in that podcast, I told you I don't really understand Cava wine region.
Yeah.
It's very eclectic. It's a
mess.
It's a mess. I mean, it's spread out all over the country, mainly Penedès area. But you have Cava in Rioja, you have Cava in Cariñena, you have Cava in Utiel Requena, you have Cava...
Chacolí is Basque.
You have Cava in
Aragon.
Ribera del Guadiana.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You have Cava everywhere. So, then you are not protecting a wine region. You are protecting a method. A method that doesn't need to be protected.
It's like,
because
guys,
it's very well protected.
It's like, guys, psst, everyone does this.
Yeah, so, okay, what I understand, and I am clear, and I think it works, is very useful to create a brand, the name Cava, as a marketing tool for selling that sparkling wine worldwide.
Because everyone goes, Cava.
This is a Cava. Okay, then I buy it. Beyond that, I don't understand Cava.
No, I think this is the problem.
Only for marketing purposes.
Because it's like, I had a Madrid one once. The winery shall remain nameless, but it wasn't very good. It was 100% Macabeo. It seems to be, like you said, as long as you follow the method and use Macabeo or Parellada or Xarel·lo, nowadays you can have Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, you can call yourself a Cava. And it seems a bit pointless, because I would like to be able to say un gran vino espumoso de Rioja, a great Rioja sparkling wine. Because Cava, for me, when you say Cava, it sings the word Catalonia, because 95% is Catalan. So it almost seems a bit weird. So I think, to answer Ben, maybe one thing would be to reorganize and go, look, guys, don't be offended, but this has to be Catalan. You can't just be like...
Well, that's the reason the main or the most famous or traditional wineries of the Penedès area has left the Cava DO, and they have created their own wine region, not official yet. Well, not official as a DO.
Yeah, semi-recognized.
Corpinat,
the heart.
And that makes sense. I mean, they want to be recognized for their terroir.
Yeah.
Their environment and the soil and the weather that they share, and they don't want to be comparison is an unfair word for those. They don't want to be in the same bag as Cava from Extremadura. That has nothing to do. I don't mean it's worse. I mean it's different.
It's like saying, imagine you could make Napa Valley wine in Washington. It's like you lose the idea of it.
Yeah. Some people wanted to read a political intention behind that, but I mean,
life's too short to do that.
Grapes don't vote.
I like that. That should be the new slogan for Cava. Hey guys, hashtag grapes don't vote. Now, anything else we need to say? We've got all these things to say. What else can we talk to you about? There's no questions. People
no questions. Okay, everything's
right,
clear.
Fine. We're amazing. We explain everything.
You have filled everything.
We get it.
You don't, for example, you are not asking for pairing. You're not
cares.
asking for temperature.
No one cares.
Not the price.
Rude.
Not the suggested glass, which is the most important.
That may not be a joke.
I place this on purpose. You have to feel
which you think
which glass is the best one.
The correct answer is always the biggest.
If you are tasting sparkling wine, I recommend you to use a classic, big glass of wine, because you are going to smell it better, and you are going to appreciate better the smelling qualities. But in a party, or it's fine if you use these flutes.
They're nice.
These long.
Just never never the Great Gatsby mimosa style wine glass.
Your bubbles will last longer.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all that's important in life. Now.
So. We should. Oh.
Don't touch me.
Anything else to say about this wonderful wine?
Price.
Looks darker. Price.
One question. Highlights of what the winemaker said. Too fast. Oh, so basically, the process. I mean, Agustí spent about a minute talking about the idea of the wine. The idea being it's a bit more following this a little bit like a biodynamic thing. It's a bit more about the connection between the earth and the wine. It's not because Torellò makes lots of wines, and this one's supposed to be a bit more, how can we say, in touch with the world. That's why you have the little lunas, the little moons on the back.
Yep.
And then he told you a very quick thing about the process, which is it's fermented in big 500-litre barrels, finished in the bottle, and they do a little bit of disgorging at the end just to get rid of the gunk, because people don't really want that gunk unless you're buying a pet natural sparkling wine, which is just full of cloudy stuff. So basically, I would say the first minute was like why he wanted to do it. He wanted to provide a wine which wasn't, because you've got the Esparter is a streamlined, more commercial, classic style of lovely sparkling Macabeo. This one's a bit more of that, trying to get in touch with the land, using old methods. So he was talking about that quite a bit. No, not about the actual wine itself. Duncan Bowie, grandson of David Bowie.
All the numbers in grey reflecting the number of bottles from this harvest? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
Not even 6,000.
5,867 bottles.
Ni seis mil.
And we are drinking number 2007 something.
And it only costs... Oh no, no one asked the price.
No one has
How much is it?
This is $14.90. It's $14.90 in our shop.
That's insane.
Yeah.
For a wine, they don't even make 6,000 bottles.
I mean, a wine that you have so many things to say about that you can bore your guests.
I usually do. And then you'll find that the bubbles seem to come back.
For 14 euros, they will not be back.
So
This was cheap.
if you want a cheap way of getting rid of people, Pablo, you're just ignoring. You answered. You said that.
Yeah, I
earlier.
said that.
Pablo.
The bubbles in Camí Xops are more delicate because they come from natural yeast, and there is only one fermentation. So, and the yeast has been, longer time, and for that reason, it's more delicate. It's more natural.
Eva, best temperature, nice and cold, really.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, the world of temperatures. We'll talk about temperatures more when we get to the next one of our next whites, which is a more complicated white wine. But for young, fresh white wines, nice and cold is good.
Yeah.
Sparkling
Nice and
wines,
cold means fridge temperature?
yeah, just from the fridge, just nice and normal. With sparkling wine, it's an interesting one because a sparkling wine can be very complex, but warm, bubbly white not very nice. Police late for his tapas. So I would say nice and cold from the fridge. Mal, why is there what looks like a moon sequence?
Yeah.
I think that's to highlight the natural processes.
The minimal intervention. Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything really.
No.
There's another question just about below Mal, I think. Someone else?
Nope.
Okay.
So what's the last one?
Anything else we need to say, or should we just flag up the next tasting?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you can still order the box.
And please do.
Yes.
Or if you live in the area and you don't know what you do, you can also, we had a lady, she buys the bottle. Oh, I can do it tomorrow, I'll buy the bottle, We are here open every day for you.
That's more expensive.
But you won't save any money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we delivery free of charge
For any box.
to your house. Next
Rocky, when's the
meeting.
next tasting?
It's going to be on Sunday, 9:30.
Can you live without us for all these days?
Lodo was the last minute change we did in the box because actually the previous wine we had announced that I have already forgotten. No, I haven't. There was a misunderstanding with the.
I don't think they realized
with
how
the
many we
winery
needed.
Because actually they called us in the last minute saying, "Okay, guys, there are no more wine."
But then they were like, "Yeah, cool, yeah. Oh, you need some more. I think there's a box left." Like, no, we need lots more of that.
Yeah.
Oh. So
we had to change it actually for a better wine.
yeah, this
Lodo.
So if you go to our Instagram,
Yeah.
and please do add us on Instagram, and also with this video, please do like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
You can find my review of the next wine, and you will see how much I like it. So if this is a very Roca wine, the next one's a very me wine, I think.
Yeah. So Laura, anyway, if you always want to know the schedule of the tastings, is already uploaded in our website, madriddaracot.com. So you only have to go there and go to events, and there you have all the schedule.
And then if you don't have the wine, you know where to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this first YouTube live worked. The setup is very intricate, but we have, we've had up to 25 people, which is not bad for a first go. Yeah. Let's see if we can reach the 70s and 80s that we did during the coronavirus time.
Now, after this tasting, there is another tasting in our onlyfans.com/madriddaracot. It's going to be a wine tasting without clothes. But that's much more expensive.
It's much more expensive.
Yeah.
So it only happens if we reach 4,000 euros.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those of you who are not...
So I want 25,000 likes before midnight. And
you're really bored at home, aren't you? So yeah, we hope you enjoyed it, guys. We'll see you on Sunday. And the question is, how do we finish this? Oh, there's a button there. Nice. So we'll see you on Sunday.
A warmer temperature, tasting hints of mushroom.
Oh God, put it back in the fridge, Harry. Put it back in the fridge. Right.
Oh, Ben
Green. Arigatou gozaimashita. You're welcome. That's Japanese. Have a lovely evening. I guess we'll see you in a couple of days.
Yes, I see you. Have a nice weekend. And enjoy the rest of the bottle. Don't leave it. Finish it before you go to bed.
Craig, see you at midnight. All right.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Let's stop this nonsense. Awkward.